is Erica from Me to You Paper Crafts, and today I want to share the making of a card. I've already made 3 of these cards. The first one that I made was this one here with a happy birthday. And after I made it, I fell in love with it so much that I thought, why not make a set of 4, and then using the envelope punch board, I will make a card box to fit them in. This card was inspired by Dawn Griffith. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and lately she's been making some cards where she's cutting the front panel of the card to make an interesting cut or template for a card, and I really like it. So the stamp sets that I'm using are the Sassy Salutations, because there's 4 greetings that would work well for a greeting card box. And for the flowers, I'm using the Flower Shop, which is from the main catalog, 2013-2014 main catalog, and the Petite Petals stamp set. And this is a newer stamp set for in the Occasions catalog, which will go till June. And what I love about these 2 stamp sets is they come with coordinating punches. So you get a pansy punch to go with the Flower Shop, and you get a Petite Petals punch to go with the Petite Petals stamp set. So very versatile. I've already made these flowers to decorate boxes and other items, so they're just great. So any stamp set that has a coordinating punch, well, you know it, I have to have it. So let's get started with making this card. The interesting part is, how do you actually cut the card to create the panel? For my base, I'm going to use crumb cake, and we're going to cut this, or sorry, we're going to place it on our Stampin' trimmer at 5.5 inches, and we're going to cut it down 2 inches from the top of the card. So if you use your ruler here, you can cut down to 2 inches, and remember your trimmer, the actual blades, the scoring blade or the cutting blade, have this little point on there. See the little point? And so you can just line up that point with the 2-inch mark. And I'm going to pick this up so I can see it better. And I'm just going to cut down to the 2-inch mark. And then I'm going to rotate the cardstock and place it again at 2 inches here. And I'm basically cutting down to this cut mark here, and that happens to be at 5.5 inches. So again, I'm going to push or pull down on my score blade and go to 5.5. If the piece of paper doesn't fall out, then the 2 cut lines didn't meet, so I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to snip up and cut that out. Alright, so here we have our card, and the next thing we need to do is to score it. I should have kept my paper trimmer out. And so we're going to put the paper at 5.5, and we're going to use the score blade now, and we're going to score that. And there's our card base. Alright, we'll set that aside for a moment. So 2 of the cards I made using the Coastal Cabana ink, and so I'm going to make another one with the Real Red ink. So let me get out that ink pad here. I've already mounted all of the stamps that I need. I'm going to use chocolate chip for the greeting. And I need to pick out a designer series piece of paper here. So all the papers I actually used from the Fresh Prints Designer Series paper stack. These are using the colors Coastal Cabana, Crumb Cake, Real Red, and Whisper White. And they've just got some really funky designs in here, and you can see I keep every single strip to use on another project. So I want something a little bit different. I think I'm going to try and Maybe stay away from the red this time. Let's see. Oh, this looks interesting with the red flowers. So maybe we'll go with this one. Or let's see what else is in here. Sometimes I have a difficult time picking the papers. This one doesn't have any red in it, so I think I should do another one without any red. Ooh, how about the large polka dots? Yeah, let's do the large polka dots. That's too many polka dots though. Change my mind again. Let's see. Ooh, stripes. Yeah, let's do stripes. All right, let's put this away. All right, so we need to cut 2 strips because you'll notice that the inside is also decorated, which is quite an interesting idea. No other card have I ever seen decorated on the inside left flap. We certainly do something on the inside right side, but I like this idea, so I've done the same thing. And so this piece measures 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. So let's take out my trimmer. So we're going to go to 5 1/4 and trim, whoops, wrong blade, trim that, and then I need it 1 3/4. 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. All right, so those are our 2 pieces. All right, so we're going to stick these on the card, and it works out that the stripes are going down. I quite like that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use my tape runner for this bit. Line it up. There we go. And then we'll do the inside panel. Over here. All right. Now the next thing we need is we need to do the inside. I'm going to use Whisper White for the inside, and this is going to measure 4 by 5 1/4. So out comes my Stampin' trimmer again, and we're going to do 4 by 5 1/4. There we go. And before I stick this in my card, just in case I stamp my greeting crooked, I'm going to stamp the greeting first. So chocolate chip, I just love this stamp pad for greetings. And the last one, I did a happy birthday, thank you, congratulations. Now I'm going to do a thinking of you. And if you have some kind of a grid paper, or maybe your mat actually has lines on it, line up your paper with one of the horizontal lines, and that will help you to align your stamp so that you stamp straight. The other thing to keep in mind is you want to stamp your greeting on the upper third of the card, because as you can see here, the flowers are going to overlap this bottom panel, and you don't want it to overlap on your greeting. All right, so let's stick this to the card. And then we're going to get on to the most fun part, which are the flowers. Oh, I think I'm running out of tape. I am running out of tape. So hang on just a sec. All right, so I got some more tape, and I've taped up the back, and now I'm going to place this on my cardstock. And I want to make sure that I line it up even with this panel on the left hand side. right, lovely. Okay, now for the flowers. So I've chosen this flower and this little flower. So for the front of the card, I need 4 of these. So I'm going to stamp these, like I said, in red. So I'm going to do 4 of these. 1. Oh, isn't that a lovely crisp image? 2, 3, 4, and then I will do 4 along this edge. Whenever I use punches, I like to punch them along an edge because it makes using the punch a lot easier. So I need 4 of these for the centers of the flower, larger flowers, and I'm going to do 1 more to put on the inside left-hand side. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so I'm going to use the small Petite Petals punch for the small ones. And although this ink is a dye-based ink and it does dry faster than a pigment ink, I find they're quite juicy, so I want to make sure that they're dry. It just takes a few seconds. But I have found that if I don't wait for them to dry, then I end up with some smearing. So I'll punch out this first little one, then I'll show you the larger one, and then I'll go off camera and I'll punch out the rest. So we'll punch this one out. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera, I'll finish punching these out, and then I'm going to put stamping dimensionals on the back of all of them, and then I'll come back and we'll finish up our card. Alright, I have punched out all of my flowers, I have stuck the Stampin' Dimensionals on the back, and I want you to note that on the larger flowers you want to put the Stamping Dimensional on the lower half of the flower because you're going to mount it and you don't want the sticky to come above this line here, otherwise you won't be able to open up your card. So this will just take a few seconds. Now I like to start by putting 1 at one end, and make sure that you don't, go over your card or else it won't fit in your envelope. And then I like to do another one at this end. Again, don't overlap. And then we'll fit on the center too. Like that. And then in the center, even though there's a lovely center, and you could easily put a little rhinestone in the middle, I just wanted some more dimension just to follow the same idea that Dawn used. These are just turning out to be so pretty. I'm so happy with this stamp set. I have, I can give this to my mother-in-law, send it off to her. She lives in Alberta. Or I have 3 girlfriend birthdays coming up in June. I could save it for then as well. Of course, they'd be jealous and I'd have to make 2 other sets. And I'm just going to put that last little one inside. I think that's a nice touch. Alright, and the last thing to do now are rhinestones, because on the other 2 cards I have pearls, so I'll do rhinestones on the red. And I think I need to get out another pack of rhinestones. Just a sec. Well, I can't believe it. I don't have another pack of rhinestones because I wanted to use some of the smaller ones. You use the small ones up quite a bit, or at least I do, and you don't want to waste the larger ones, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these. I don't really have a choice in this case, so I'll use these up. You know, I've used a lot of rhinestones over the years, different manufacturers' rhinestones, and honestly, the Stampin' Up! Rhinestones I think are the best. A lot of their things are the best of tools. I've been stamping for over 20 years. I've used a lot of tools. Oh, luckily I have one last little one. I'll put that inside. For example, their Stampin' trimmer is the best trimmer I've ever used. Oh, there's another little one down there. Oops. Let's just stick them back on the paper. There we go. All right, so there is the last card, and so here is the set. And maybe I'll do another video and I'll show you how to make the card box to go with it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my video. It is the second one I've made, so I appreciate you coming to see me.